श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फल चारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश बेकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवारि सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत सब भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक प्रमादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कभी कौबिद कहि सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीना राम मिलाय राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जोग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माही जलधि लागी गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सवारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु सत्य के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता अस्मर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुमरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो 7 बार पाठ करे कोई, छूटहि बंधि महा सुख होय। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूरति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। संकट मोचन हनुमान अष्टकम। बाल सबे रवि भक्ष लियो, तब तीनों लोक भयो अधियारो। बाल सबे रवि भक्ष लियो, तब तीनों लोक भयो अधियारो। ताई सो त्रास भयो जग को, यह संकट काहू सो जात न टारो। ताही सो त्रास भयो जग को, यह संकट काहू सो जात न टारो। देवन आदि करि बिनती, देवन आदि करि बिनती, तब छाड़ दियो रवि कष्ट निवार। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कभी संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कभी संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। बाली की त्रास कपिस बसे, बाली की त्रास कपिस बसे। गिरि जात महाप्रभु पत निहारो। चौकी महामुनि शाप दियो, तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो। चौकी महामुनि शाप दियो, तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो। क्वै तेज रूप लेवाय महाप्रभु, क्वै तेज रूप लेवाय महाप्रभु। सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। अगद के संग लेन गए, सिया खोज कपिस ये बैन उचारो। जीविती ना बचियो हम सो, जो बिना सुधि लाए इहा पगुधारो। हेरी टटे टट सिद्धू सबे तब, हेरी टके टट सिद्धू सबे तब। लाए सिया सुधि प्राण उबारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। रावण त्रास दहि सिय को, रावण त्रास दहि सिय को। सब राक्षसी सो कहे शोक निवारो। ताहि सबे हनुमान महाप्रभु, जाए महारज निचर मारो। ताहि सबे हनुमान महाप्रभु, जाए महारज निचर मारो। चाहत सिए अशोक सुहागी, चाहत सिए अशोक सुहागी। सुदे प्रभु मुद्रिका शोक निवारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। कौन ही जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। बाण लग्यो उर लक्ष्मण के, बाण लग्यो उर लक्ष्मण के। तब प्राण तजे सुत रावण मारो। ले ग्रहा वेद सुषेण समेत, तबे गिरि द्रोण सुबीर उपारो। ले ग्रहा वेद सुषेण समेत तबे गिरि द्रोण सुबीर उपारो आदि सजीवन हाथ दही तब आदि सजीवन हाथ दही तब लक्ष्मण के तुम प्राण उबारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो रावण युद्ध अजान कियो रावण युद्ध अजान कियो तब नाग की फांस सबे सिर डारो श्री रघुनाथ समेत सबे दल मोह भयो यह संकट भारो श्री रघुनाथ समेत सबे दल मोह भयो यह संकट भारो आदि खगेश तबे हनुमान आदि खगेश तबे हनुमान जो बदन काटी सूत्रास निवारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो बधु समेत जबे अहि रावण बधु समेत जबे अहि रावण ले रघुनाथ पाताल सिधारो देवी ही पूजी भली वेदी सो बलु देहु सबे बेली मंत्र विचारो देवी ही पूजी भली विधि सो बल देहु सबे बेली मंत्र विचारो जाए सहाय भयो तब ही जाए सहाय भयो तब ही अहि रावण सैन्य समेत सभारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो काज किए बड़ देवन के काज किए बड़ देवन के तुम वीर महाप्रभु देखी विचारो कौन सो संकट बोर गरीब को जो तुम सो नहीं जात है तारो कौन सो संकट बोर गरीब को जो तुम सो नहीं जात है तारो बैगी हरो हनुमान महाप्रभु बैगी हरो हनुमान महाप्रभु जो कछु संकट होए हमारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो कौन ही जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो लाल देह लाल लसे अरुधरि लाल लगूर वज्र देह तानव दलन जय 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 कपिसूर पवन सुत हनुमान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram. Today we'll start with a bit of a revision. Basically, let's talk about a few concepts before we move on with the Vibhishan Gita. And where are we in the Vibhishan Gita? We are now discussing the different kind of Shastras. Astras are the one which you hold in the hand, and Shastras are the one which attack a distant enemy, right? A distant enemy which is a little further away. Like Astras would be the axe and the sword, the bhalas, but Shastra would be the arrows, the missiles, right? So, what are we talking about? Again, it is the Vibhishan Gita, where Ramji is giving an ultimate discourse to Vibhishan, who is worried about Ramji's well-being, because Ramji is standing there without anything. He just has some tattered clothes to cover him, no shoes on his feet, a bow and an arrow, an army of monkeys and bears, animals. That's it. And who is he fighting with? Ravan. And we know Ravan is well equipped. He has the palace, he has his chariot, he has the weapons, he has everything. Yet, Ramji says that to win this kind of a battle, or to win any kind of a battle, the true chariot which is needed is totally different. And the chariot is a dharmrath, right? So we talked about a lot of virtues. Again, I'd like to bring to your notice that we are talking about virtues over here. Sauraj dhiraj tehirat chakha satyashil drid dhwaja pataka bal vivek dab parahit ghore shaba kripa sabatar jujore ईश भजन सारथी सुजाना विरति चरम संतोष कृपाना दान पर सुबुद्धि शक्ति प्रचंडा बर विज्ञान कठिन कौडन्ना अबल अचल मन त्रोण समाना सम जम नियम सिली मुखनाना कवच अभेद विप्र गुरु पूजा यही सब विजय उपाय नहीं दूजा. So, for victory in any field, be it spiritual or material, you do not need anything other than the qualities of this chariot. If you have been able, or we have been able to imbibe them, internalize them, experience them, and put them into action, we are victorious. Nothing and nobody can defeat us. Where is defeat? Defeat is in the mind. बन के माने हार है और बन के जीते जीत. You will never be a loser. Nobody ever is a loser actually. What do you think? Nobody is. Some come first, some come second, some come third, and some come last. Nobody is a loser because you are always gaining. Every journey teaches us something. It does not matter which position we reach. Each of us wins something or the other. So we are all winners, not losers. This is the beauty of our dharma. We teach our children about winning and losing. We never teach them, or we ourselves don't know the true meaning of winning and losing. It's not the position but the learning. And that is what matters. So he's saying, once you have imbibed these qualities, you are always victorious. Of course you are. Nothing can defeat you. You're always a winner. And the joy and adat will never leave your heart. Whether you're in a palace or in a hut. Beautiful, isn't it? So now in the process, we have discussed a few terms, right? We discussed a lot of qualities and we said we should always focus on the qualities and not the vices. Nurture the qualities, the vices will automatically dwindle and disappear. Now first let's talk about suppression and sublimation. We should not suppress our desires. We should not in any way suppress our vices. We should not in any way suppress our feelings. What is suppress? Making them quiet or not putting them in action by force. Scriptures are not asking us to suppress. कहते ना मैंने अपने अरमानों का गला घोट दिया. भाई आपको कोई गला घोटने का बोल ही नहीं रहा है. किसी भी अरमान का, किसी भी तमन्ना का आप गला ना घोटे. We are not talking about suppression. We are talking about sublimation. The emphasis is not on suppression. The emphasis is sublimation. We have to understand this very clearly because soon we'll be moving into Krishna Leela. And to understand Krishna, there are certain things we have to understand. So, what is suppression? When you by force decide you won't be doing something. What is sublimation? You connect to a higher entity. You could connect to God, you could connect to doing selfless services, you could connect to doing work, you could connect to doing a lot of charity work, or if there are material vices, Like you'd like to go and shop, stop shopping for yourself, shop for somebody else. That is also a way of killing that vasta. If you like to eat, start eating healthy. Don't stop eating altogether. Start eating healthy. So it is a transition, a gradual process. Please remember, spirituality is not a sprint. स्प्रिंट है तो ठीक है, पूरा दम लगा लिया और you have reached the last line. It is a marathon, and it is a long distance marathon, and it does not only last this life, it might last many other lives also. We might be taking multiple births to reach our ultimate goal. So it is in no way a sprint. It is a long distance run. It is a marathon. For that, suppression won't work. Sublimation, keeping up the pace, keeping the focus, keeping a higher goal. Slowly the lower tendencies will dwindle. So not suppression is the focus. What is the focus? Sublimation. Second point, Astra Shastra, we have already told you. Second point is, when we said in the last session, there were a few questions that came up. How can Yam Niyam help in making the mind Amal and Achal? And how can they help us after our mind is Amal and Achal? So Yam and Niyam have two purposes, just like Sadhan and Sadhana. When our mind is Chanchal, right? And when we do not have a pure heart, or probably our virtues are not ripe, we have a lot of vices in us, we have to do Yam and Niyam. Right now we are understanding. Slowly and steadily, we are talking about Yam. And after this, from next session, we'll talk about Niyam. So these Yam and Niyam, these are certain values and certain ways of life that we have to abide with. For instance, in the last session, we talked about Ahimsa and Aparigraha, non-hoarding and non-violence. So when we are in a state of non-hoarding and non-violence, slowly and gradually, when we are nurturing good virtues, when we are actually putting in effort to think about the positive, our mind, our heart, our chit, our buddhi, everything becomes purified gradually. Because we are sublimating. So at that point, Yam and Niyam help in cleaning our own existence. Now suppose our heart is totally clean now, right? There are no weeds, the garden is clean, right? Now Yam and Niyam will help because we will start rising above. If we continue our practices when they become effortless, we start reaching to new heights. We start rising above. Let's take a simple example to understand this. Yam and Niyam before and Yam and Niyam after. Suppose your heart there is a very big hole in the ground, right? Yes? And now we have to fill the hole. What is the objective to fill the hole? We want a big mountain so that we can climb on it and look at a distance. But abhi to khadda hai pura. There is no space. There is nowhere where we can see a mountain. So what would you start doing? We'll start filling the hole. Yes. We'll start filling the hole. That is effort, right? Yam and Niyam. We are putting in a lot of effort to fill the hole. Now the hole is filled. The ground is leveled. We'll have to continue with the same effort, right? What is the same effort? Putting in mud. To fill the hole, we put in mud. And now to create a mountain also, we have to keep putting in the mud. And then the mountain will start piling up, right? And rise higher and higher and higher. And then at a distance, we will be able to see at a distance whatever our target was. So both were the same activities, but the end result was different, isn't it? Now let's take one more example. Sadhan. Suppose we are fasting. There is a reason we fast, right? The fasting is done to control our mind, right? So you're fasting to control your mind. That is sadhan. But now your mind is in total control. But be careful, huh? It can slip any time, so vigilance is always needed. But assuming your mind is in total control. Now, when your mind is in total control, would you stop fasting? Most people don't. Because when your mind is in total control, you realize that to survive, we do not need anything beyond, that limited morsel of food or limited bowl of food that you are eating, right? And that sympathy comes in your heart that there's so many people going hungry. How can I hold on or eat so much? In Bible also they say, right? Gluttony is a sin. So before, it was to control your mind. Now the same fast has a different result, right? It is out of compassion, it is out of love. And when it was done to control your mind, what happened? It cleansed you, right? Now with a clean mind, when you're selflessly fasting, it will take you to new heights. It is true for everything, be it mod. You might want to be quiet because you want to control your mind. And when your mind is controlled, you realize that talking is futile. Why talk? It becomes a sadhana, and it helps you become one with the sadhyai. So, yam and niyam before, yam and niyam after, the activity might be the same, but the result would be different. Again, one more example, one simple example, because there were a lot of doubts, so I thought let me just clear it before we move on. For instance, we are praying when there are a lot of problems in our life. Right? Now, when we pray, when we are at the pits, we have hit rock bottom. Prayers give us strength. They stabilize us. Right? They take us up. They bring us to that initial level of stability. Right? Suppose we were at level 1 and we have fallen down to 0. Prayer will bring us back to level 1 when we are praying, when we start praying, when we are in agony, when we are in sorrow. Okay, so the purpose of that kind of a prayer is to bring you back to level 1. But suppose a person never fell, right? Never fell, never had any problems in their life, no agonies. But that person started thinking about the Lord, moving on the spiritual path, praying and contemplating. What will happen? That person would rise above and reach liberation, whatever, reach the goal. So the prayer is the same, but the result is different. I hope it is clear now. So these things are very subtle. The difference between, there can be multiple meanings, okay? When we are reading Sanskrit, when we are reading the text, there is no right or wrong. Everybody interprets them as per their mental ability. Now think of it. Gita is narrated by a lot of people, yes? Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran is narrated by a lot of people. At the same time, it is also heard by a lot of people. Isn't it? Yes. But some narrate it good, some narrate it better. Some interpret it in a very different way. But if you take Gita, it was sung by Sri Krishna. To understand Gita or to understand Gita in a way Sri Krishna meant it, we have to understand or become like Sri Krishna first. So again, Gita does two things. Gita, when we have not reached that level, helps cleanse us. Srimad Bhagavad helps cleanse us. And when we are clean, we are able to think about who wrote the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran? Vedvyasji. Vedvyasji has written most of our scriptures, so we are only repeating what he has said. Our bhakti is not beyond what his bhakti is. Right? So, we reach to their level of understanding, we have to repeat these scriptures to cleanse ourselves. Once we have cleansed ourselves, we might be able to understand the scriptures as they were meant, or as per the author, or as per the narrator, or as per the singer. we might be able to understand Sri Krishna's Gita the way Sri Krishna wanted to tell it. We might understand Sri Ram's Vibhishan Gita the way Sri Ram wanted to narrate it. So we have to keep reading, keep chanting, keep listening repeatedly till it becomes an integral part of ourselves. Till we have cleansed ourselves through yam and niyam and all those tapa, so that we reach that level of understanding. So it would be foolish of us to become rigid at this point in time. Spirituality makes us lucid. If at any point of time you are becoming rigid, if you're not flexible, you're not lucid, stop and think. The direction is definitely wrong. You will never reach Krishna's understanding. You will never reach Ved Vyasji's understanding. You will never reach Ramji's understanding. We will never reach the true meaning if we become rigid, if we leave flexibility and lucidity. So the objective of our scriptures is to make us accepting. We have to be in acceptance of everything. Not tolerance, okay? Our scriptures don't talk about tolerance, because when you are tolerating, there is still a negative element to it. हाँ भाई वो गलत है पर मैं उसको tolerate कर रहा हूँ. एक तो वो गलत है और आपकी ego बोल रही है कि मैं उसको tolerate कर रहा हूँ. Yes, he is wrong, but I am great, hence I am tolerating him. No, that is a no-no. So acceptance is the way forward. Tolerance is very derogatory. So our scriptures don't talk about tolerance. They talk about acceptance of each and everything, each and every religion, each and every way of life, each and every thought process, each and every person, because we are not in a position to judge anyone. Work on yourself. Be in acceptance of yourself first. That is what we discussed. Accept yourself the way you are. And then the work on yourself will start. Right? So, when we cannot understand the scriptures as they were meant to be, what is the purpose of reading them? Again, as we said, yam and niyam have two ways, right, of cleansing. Reading the scriptures right now will help you reach the level of Sri Ram, help you reach the level of Sri Krishna, help you reach the level of Ved Vyasji, help you reach the understanding of the great sages and the saints and the gods and the divine avatars. And then the music will start playing. But till that level is reached, we cannot stop. And what will happen? How will we know if the level is reached? Of course you will know. When the sun comes out, the darkness disappears, right? Or it does not. Can anybody not acknowledge that ki ab suraj uday ho gaya hai, the sun has risen? Or people will say, how will we know if the sun rise? What will you say? You will say, you will know when the sun rise. Nobody cannot know. Even the blind knows when the sun has risen. Yes, they know. कहीं ना कहीं एक अनुभूति होती है. The kiran, the rays, the vibrations of the sun are there. Everybody knows that the sun has risen. So when we have reached the level of Sri Ram or Krishna, we will also know, and everybody around us will also know. ये बातें छुपाए नहीं छुपती है. But that is not for us to think about. It will happen and we will not even bother about it. सरलता पे एक बात करते हैं. Why again I'm digressing from Vibhishan Gita? We were supposed to talk about Satya and Satya. We are supposed to talk about a lot of topics today. We have to talk about Satya, we have to talk about non-stealing, Asteya and Brahmacharya. 3 topics से बात करनी हम करेंगे. Right? But what is saralta? Unless and until we understand these, what's the point of keep running, running forward? Saralta. I don't know the English translation. I think there is no English translation for the word saralta. So let's keep it as saralta. Saral, saral, saral. And you know what? The person who is saral, does not even know that he is Saral, does not even know that he is so great. He does not even want to know. जैसे कहते हैं ना हनुमान जी, to whom Valmiki ji said na, you wrote the Ramayana for people, but I wrote my Ramayana for Ram ji. मुझे और किसी से कुछ नहीं चाहिए. सरल, सरल. There was this story that really strikes a chord and really is very close to my heart. It is सरलता का true meaning सामने आता है, and how Prabhu responds to a person who is saral. So there was this one big huge fellow who would not work, and all he would want to do was eat. So he became a burden to his family, a burden to the village, and they all wanted to get rid of him because he would end up eating more than half the food of the entire family. What did they do? They said, why don't you go and live in a monastery and become a monk? He said, become a monk? Why? He said, they'll give you so much food that you will never be hungry. चाहे monastery ले लो, मंदिर ले लो, संन्यास ले लो, जो आपको लेना ले लो. So he said, is it? Yes. Haven't you gone to the temples? How much food do they give? So much prasad is there. There is no dearth. So go. He went away. He sat outside and he was sitting, and the monk came and he said, क्या हुआ भाई? Well, my family does not want me anymore. So I have come here and I've heard that nobody goes hungry in a mandir. So what do I have to do? He said, all you have to do is you have to chant the name of the Lord, and the head monk said, or the head sannyasi said, that I promise you that you will get as much food as you want. He said, that's it? He said, no problem. He went into the sannyas ashram and he dressed up as them and he started chanting the name of the Lord, and he was given enough food and he was so happy. Till one day it was Ekadashi. And on Ekadashi, nobody eats, right? Many people don't even drink. And not only on that day, Ekadashi is of 3 days, one day before, one day after. So one day before you should have falahar, one day after also you should have falahar. On the day of Ekadashi, nothing should be eaten. Plus, if possible, one should not drink any water also. Those are the normal norms of Ekadashi, right? So the person, he was like, what is wrong? Why isn't anybody cooking? The kitchens are closed. The dining area is closed. I am so hungry. So he ran to the head monk and said, there's something wrong. There is no food. So the head monk said, I'm sorry, but on Ekadashis we don't eat and we don't cook. Many of us don't even drink. He said, I'll die like that. I can't stay for a minute without food. You promised that you'll let me eat, and I've been doing all my chanting, and I really love chanting and thinking about God. But I cannot stay hungry. Please understand my situation. And he started weeping. अब this head monk said, don't worry. Listen, you cannot cook here. Nobody's going to cook for you. So what do we do? He said, don't worry, I'll cook. I know how to cook. Just give me the ingredients and give me the atta and the aloo and whatever. Please, I'll go at a distance and cook so that nobody comes to know. He said, okay. So the head monk said, please take him to the storehouse and give him whatever he wants for himself so that he can eat. He went. But the head monk said, listen, before you eat, kindly pray to God, offer prasad, and then only will you put a single morsel also in your mouth. Won't go before that. So after you pray, then only will you put food in your mouth. He said, okay, no problems. And he went. And he so happy, he sat under the tree next to the Yamuna. He took the water, he cooked a nice, amazing meal, aloo ki sabji, kheer, puri, and he was about to eat when he remembered, no, I have to offer it to God, and only then will I eat. So he sat down, he started singing. Shri Ram Ji, 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 Shri Ram Ji. आइए भोजन ग्रहण करिए. And he joined his hands and he was waiting for the Lord to come. And what happened? Siya Ram came. He had cooked for only 2 people, him and Ramji. And in the mandir and the monastery or wherever, he had never offered food to God. He saw this happening, so he assumed that Lord actually comes. assumption नहीं है, भगवान प्रभु आते हैं, है ना, पर किसके लिए आते हैं, it's a thing that you will have to find out. We will have to find out. Sat down. And Ramji came with Sita ji, and he had cooked for only 2 people. He said, "Oh Prabhu, I did not know that you come with your Sita Ma also. No problem, you eat. Next time, I'll be careful. I'll cook for more people." Now, Ekadashi comes twice a month, right? So twice a month, this process has to be repeated. So this time he ate a little, he gave away most of the food. He stayed hungry almost. He said, next time, I have to get more atta, chawal, aloo and atta and all so that I can make more food because there are 3 people to feed. So he said, listen, please, to the person who was giving him the ration, the in charge of the storehouse. He said, I want more ration. He said, okay. How much more? I want ration for 3 people. Atta, chawal, dal, everything has to be more because 3 people eat. He was like, what is he talking about? Maybe he's so hungry that last time it was not enough. So maybe he wants to take more and eat. So they gave it to him. Again, he cooked for 3 people. He sat down and this time he chanted, Sita Ram aao, Sita Ram aao, Sita Ram aao. Sita Ram और लक्ष्मण पहुंच गए. He said, I cooked for 3 people today. Today 4 of you have come. I did not know this. It's okay. Next time I'll cook for more. Again he remained hungry. He ate a little. Most of it was eaten by them. बड़ी समस्या है. Again the next Ekadashi, he said, I have to cook for 4 people. Me and 3 of them. Again what happened? He took samagri or the ration for 4 people. And how many people came? 5. Bharat ji bhi aa gaye. My goodness, he was baffled and this continued. Next time around, he cooked for 5, 6 people came. Shatrughan ji aa gaye. And next time he just lost it because he cooked for 6 people and Hanuman ji also came. He said, oh, this is not right. So far your family was coming and now you have got a Vanar with you. This is not happening. He straight away went to the mandir that very day because he did not want to stay hungry anymore. He said, I need ration for a lot of people. This is not enough. Give me ration for at least 10. Every time I call them, 1 extra person comes. I don't know what is the problem. And this time I've told them they'll cook themselves. Now the head monk was confused. He said, what is happening to this man? But he did not want to, interfere because he realized that amount of food was not possible for him to eat on his own. So he said, no worries, give him. So they gave him a chariot full of food because he was not sure how many people will come this time. And he took it, he sat down and he is not cooking. He said, this time I'm not going to cook. If you want even to feed your Vanar, you want to feed so many people, kindly cook yourself and feed me also. So he sat down and atta is lying there, raw atta, raw chawal, raw ghee, sab aise hi rakha hua hai, and he has not even got the wood. He said, I don't even want to get that. Whoever wants to eat will have to cook themselves and they can feed me also. And he sat down and he started chanting the Lord's name, calling him. And this monk was in hiding. Okay, he was watching what all is happening. He was wondering what has gone with him. The food is lying in one corner and he is just sitting and he is talking to somebody and he is calling out the Lord's name. And the monk kept observing what was happening. Now this man is calling out the Lord. आइए, ये नहीं चलेगा, वो नहीं चलेगा, आइए भोजन करिए, मुझे भी खिलाइए. And when he was calling out, who came? Ram, Lakshman, Sita, Bharat, Shatrughan and Hanuman ji. My goodness. And they brought along Urmila also, Mandavi, Shutkirti. And they said, dekhiye, so many of you have come, no problem, I have a lot of ingredients, but ye mujhse nahi hoga, clear it up, get the wood, and you cook yourself and feed me also. The Ramji said, don't worry, we will do it. So Sita and all her sisters sat down, Bharat went to get wood, Hanumanji with his tail was clearing that area, and this man is talking. हाँ अच्छे से साफ कर लीजिए, लकड़ी वहां से ले आइए. Sita Ma, आप बना रही. The minute Sita Ma sat down and her sisters sat down to cook, what happened? A lot of other Devis and Devtas descended. And he opened his mouth and said, इतने सारे लोग आ गए, हाँ मुझे क्या प्रॉब्लम है? आपको जिसको खिलाना है खिलाइए. आप बना रहे, आप ही लोग खा रहे, पर मेरे लिए भी थोड़ा रख दीजिएगा. इतनी एकादशी से I have been hungry. I also need to eat. Now, every time I call somebody, extra people come and look at you. This time I got food enough for 10, 15 people, and look how many people have come. It looks as if 100 people are standing there. Now, at the distance, who's watching? The Sant is watching, the head sannyasi, the person, he's 80, he has been a sannyasi, has devoted his entire life to God. What does he see? His vision sees what? This huge man sitting, bags and bags of atta, chawal, vessels of milk, ghee, lying in a corner untouched. The floor is all dirty. He does not see any of the activity which this man, the huge man, is shouting about. And he is baffled. He's still wondering what is happening. And he said, "Haan, Sita ji, aap banaiye, mere ko bhi khilaiye." And suddenly, he can smell. The sannyasi smells food being cooked. He smells celestial flowers. And he's saying, 100 jane aa gaye, swarg lok ko hi pura le aiye, koi baat nahi. And Ramji sat down. Bharatji is getting the wood. Lakshmanji went to get some water. Sitaji is chopping vegetables. Hanumanji is cleaning the floor. And Hanumanji gets some bananas more. And everybody is seated. They are chanting. They're singing. And he is talking and he's describing everything that is happening. And he's getting upset with the Lord. And this sadhu could not control himself. He came out. He said, "What is wrong with you? बावले हो गए हो क्या? Have you gone crazy? What are you talking about? Who is there?" बोला, "Swami ji, I did not want to complain, but this is not working for me. Every Ekadashi, I have to go hungry. I never tell you anything, but this, see, Ram, his parivar, Hanumanji, and today they have crossed all limits. They got people from heaven. They have got people from Ayodhya. Everybody is sitting here and Sita Ma is cooking for them." He said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "आपको नहीं दिख रहा क्या? ये देखिए, राम बैठे हैं, ये सीता माँ बैठी है." और हनुमान जी खड़े क्यों हो गए आप? "जल्दी, भूख लग रही है मुझे." He shook this huge man. He said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Guruji, ये देखिए ना, प्रभु आए हुए हैं." गुरुजी ने बोला, "क्या तुम्हें सब सच में दिख रहे हैं? Can you actually see them?" He said, "Yes. Can't you? Ma is cooking. Prabhu is sitting. Everybody is working. What happened?" "Guruji, you are a great saint. You must be able to see everything. Now you know, right? I don't eat the food. By force I have been doing Ekadashi because of these people." Now the Guru realized that this huge fellow, this innocent huge fellow, actually sees the Lord. This activity is actually happening. And he started weeping. He said, "Prabhu, puri jindagi laga di. Full life I've devoted to you. I left everything. Yet, you are not giving me darshan. You are giving darshan to this man who just came to the temple or the monastery for food. He chants your name for food. Why, Prabhu? This is sarasar anyay. This is unfair." And he was weeping from all his heart. And at that time, when he opened his eyes, when he wiped away the tears and the vision became less blurred, he could witness the glory of what this huge man was saying. He could see Ma Sita cooking, Sri Ram standing, Hanumanji, Bharatji. He was shocked. And Ramji came. He said, "Swamiji, you devoted your entire life. You left everything. But you never truly believed in my existence, did you? But this person whom you call Buddha, whom you call as a huge fellow who's useless, who just came for food, he believed in me. He believed that I come for food. He believed that I am offered the food and I come and I take part, I eat it. He believed in my existence. You told him, but he believed you did not believe. Hence, I give my darshan to those people, those simple, saral people like him. बाकी ज्ञानी योगी तपस्वी तो बहुत है. They can spend eternity, but they will never see me. Because Swamiji, everything was there in you. But that saralta was not there. That saralta was there in him. Innocence, saralta, belief. It's a beautiful word, saralta. It was there in him. And when you imbibe the same saralta and same belief and the same simplicity कि प्रभु आते हैं, प्रभु खड़े हैं, मुझे नहीं दिख रहे, I revealed myself to you. Oh my goodness, this sannyasi said, I spent my entire life and I missed the crux of it all, the essence of it all, and the essence of all this learning, all the yam, niyam, tapasya, all the scriptures and all the cleansing is to make us saral. Saral. One quality. Saralta. Write it somewhere where you can see it. Saral, 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 saral. Repeat it in your mind. Because जब तक सरलता नहीं आएगी तब तक प्रभु नहीं आएंगे. ये ऐसे आके जो सामने बैठते हैं वो नहीं बैठेंगे. सरलता, bliss. Until we have that saralta in us, till we have this quality saralta, ये स्वभाव सरलता का हमें जब तक नहीं आएगा, कृष्ण की गीता जैसे उनने बोली थी वैसे हमें समझ नहीं आएगी. बड़े बड़े तपस्वी महात्माओं ने शायद अनुवाद कर दिया हो, पर शायद उनको भी समझ नहीं आई थी. That is why yearn for the experience. Yearn to know the Lord. Your experience won't be like somebody else's experience, but that does not matter. कहते हैं ना, लकीर के फकीर ना बनिए, सरल बनिए. Believe in God. Be saral. Be down to earth. Be simple. Be kind. The minute saralta comes, the Lord will reveal himself. The scriptures will start revealing themselves. They will give you the good rahasyas. The secrets will reveal themselves to you. When saralta comes, Ved Vyasji will start talking to you. Because you will touch his frequency. You'll touch the frequency of the Lord. You'll touch the frequency of Sri Ram. And then the mysteries of this universe, the mysteries of the galaxies, the mysteries of multi-universes, mysteries of the Lord, the Brahman, the scriptures will reveal themselves to you. पर उसके लिए क्या चाहिए? सरलता. And सरलता कैसे आएगी? How will saralta come? If you were sitting in front of me, I would have given you this homework. Please define saralta. Right? Probably I'll just type it and send it to you. Define saralta. ये saralta है क्या चीज? Saralta comes with this. When the yam and niyam are followed, saralta आएगी. Cleansing will happen because each of us is that all-knowing divine. हम सरल है, but we have actually covered it with the veils of vices, veils of arrogance, veils of ego, veils of I am. ढक दिया हमने सब कुछ. When a person is unapologetically himself, there's a quote like this, right? Others find it comfortable. others find it easy to be themselves also. But mask के ऊपर मास्क, मुखोटों के ऊपर मुखोटा हमने लगा रखा है. So now we are honest, not the other people are honest. Be unapologetically yourself. आप जैसे वैसे रहिए ना. यही तो है. This is, see, whatever we do in our lives outside is just a reflection of what we are doing to ourselves inside. Yes? The mask and the screening that we put on our face, the thick layer of foundation, is exactly what we put on our own true existence. Nobody knows our true self. Beneath those freckles and the deep makeup, चेहरा कैसा है पता ही नहीं चलता है. So beneath the strong covering, honestly how we are, nobody knows. Why are we so scared to be ourselves? God has made us exactly the way we are supposed to be. He loves us the way we are. He knows the true us. The first step would be to show the true you. Be the true you. Why complicate? Remove all the complications ताकि जिंदगी सरल बन जाए. And this is what Yam and Niyam does. आपके जीवन में सरलता वापस लाता है. It brings back saralta into your lives. So we talked about ahimsa. There are 5 niyams, right? We are talking about Yam, 5 noble values of life. First we talked about, last class we talked about ahimsa and aparigraha, that is non-violence and non-violence and non-hoarding. Right? We talked about these in great depth. Now, today, let's talk about Satya. Satya. What is Satya? Honesty? Yes, honesty. Simple, isn't it? We all know what truthfulness is. We all know what honesty is. From the very childhood, we have heard this, and even now, every day, be honest, be truthful to yourself, be honest to yourself. We keep speaking this because Kalyuga, this is the only leg which is left. The bull, 3 of the bull's legs were cut off by Kali, right? The only leg which is left is truthfulness. And just like Hari Naam, Ram Naam, Ram Mantra, right, is name of the Lord, can help us cross the ocean of mundane existence in Kali Yuga. In the same way, truthfulness can take us to being saral. Any of these qualities, for instance, if you take up ahimsa, satya, asteya, aparigraha or brahmacharya, hold on to any one of them. The others will follow. You don't have to hold on to all of them. Just decide what you'll hold on to, and no matter what, then uphold to that virtue. All the other virtues will follow. This is the key to opening the door of the secrets of the universe. This is the key. What is the key for Kali Yuga? Truthfulness. And we all know what truthfulness is. तो फिर truthfulness के बारे में ज़्यादा बात करने का कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, क्योंकि आप लोग सब जानते हैं. So let me ask you a question. Are we truthful in thought, word and deed? Do we think and we say what we think and we act on what we have said? Are these 3 things aligned all the time? We are truthful in thought, word and deed. Whatever we do is what comes to our mind, and whatever we say is also what comes to our mind. Are we aligned? If we are not, it is not truth. We think about something, we say something, and we do something. Ramji the na, he used to uphold. He said, Raghukul read, Sada chali aayi, pran jaye, par vachan na jaye. Once I have said it, no matter what, it will be done. When a promise is made, it won't be broken no matter what. Raghukul read, Sada chali aayi, pran jaye, par vachan na jaye. Harishchandra ne to he had committed to something in his dreams. Yet when he woke up, he fulfilled it. Because it has come into my mind somehow. Once it has come into my mind, once it, even in the form of a subconscious memory or a dream, it has to be upheld. It has to be fulfilled, no matter what. Even if it means destroying myself and my own family. That is truth. मनसा वाचा कर्मणा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ाए मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे. संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, we remember. मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे, we forget. क्यों? मुश्किल है, कठिन है. इसके लिए अभ्यास चाहिए. This requires practice. And practice we know what to do. Practice तो करनी पड़ेगी, right? For mundane things like getting into a university इतनी practice चाहिए होती है, तो spirituality के लिए क्यों नहीं चाहिएगी? And the power of truth, when a person becomes one in thought, word and deed, okay? And the other truthfulness is, right? The other thing about truthfulness is, truthfulness should have 4 characteristics. When these words are being uttered, see? So what we have to be one in thought, word and deed. And Satya has the quality of non-harming, right? Whatever our words are being said. See, our mouth is supposed to be guarded very closely, isn't it? See, our mouth, it has to be guarded. It is generally also guarded. Our tongue, it is our tongue which speaks the truth or the untruth, right? And look at it. Our tongue is so well protected by the teeth. It has the teeth, it has the gums, and on top of it, it has the lips. Is there any other organ? No. Our ears are not so protected. Our nose is not so protected. Our skin is not so protected. But the tongue is guarded. It is telling us, भाई संभाल के मुंह खोलो. वाणी एक अनमोल है, जो कोई बोले जानी. हे तराजू तोल के फिर मुख बाहर आनी. पर हम वो बोले जाते हैं बिना सोचे समझे. We speak and then we think about it. कि मैंने तो सोचा ही नहीं था. I can talk to you without thinking. क्यों भाई? They can talk. वाणी एक अनमोल है, जो कोई बोले जानी. हे तराजू तोल के फिर मुख बाहर आनी. Our words are precious. We should weigh them in the weight, the tarazu जो होता है of the heart. We have to weigh them. How do we weigh our words? Are my words not harmful? Will they harm anybody? Are my words truthful? Are my words pleasant? Are my words beneficial? Are these words actually needed? If they are not, keep quiet. Maunam, maunam, maunam. Moun. Be in silence. That is one of the biggest tapasya. Dedicate certain time where you would not talk and see the energy at you. Moun. But we can't stay bound, it is so difficult. We actually have so many excuses for not staying bound, but those excuses are useless and futile. Bound. In general also, we should be bound only. The words, when they come out, we have to check. Are they, I'm sure, I hope they are not harmful. I'm sure, I hope they are truthful. I hope they are pleasant. And I hope they are beneficial. They are needed. If they are not, what should we do? Keep quiet. Karan, if we talk too much, our words would not be truthful. It is not possible. Kahi na kahi, kabhi na kabhi slip of tongue. Our tongue. We'll have a slip of tongue and then we'll regret. See, but words, once it is like a arrow. Once it is shot, it is shot. You cannot bring it back. You can break, bricks and bats can break bones, but the hurt and the injury that the words give can never be filled. Once the words are said, that is it. They cannot be taken back. Right? So we have to be very careful. And we have to make sure that we are one in Mansa Vacha Karmana, one in thought, word and deed, and the words are truthful. We are one in thought, word and deed, and our words are truthful in thought, word and deed. Unless and until that is the case, we should not open our mouth, because again, there are 5 karmendriyas, there are 5 gyanendriyas, right? Yes? But this tongue, this organ of speech, is a karmendriya also, karmendri, and a gyanendri also. Double emphasis. It is speech and taste. कर्म भी है और ज्ञान इंद्रिया भी है. Our tongue. So it is so important, and we use our words so liberally. And that is why there are certain people जिनमें सिद्धि होती है. Let's take an example. For instance, the Swamini, she talks beautifully on this topic, and she said that once when Hanumanji had gone to find out about Sita Ma, he was there in Lanka, and the Lanka was literally burning, right? No, Lanka was not literally burning. Everybody in Lanka wanted to burn Hanumanji's tail, right? Lanka would literally burn after this. And Hanumanji was standing there, and Sita Ma found out about it. Srijata came and she told Sita, Sita, Hanumanji has been taken. He is going to be burnt. They are actually going to burn his tail. Sita Ma said, no. My Hanuman's tail will not burn. You know what she did? She just joined her hands, closed her eyes, and she looked up and she said, Agni Dev, I order you, you will remain calm. You will not burn the tail of my Hanuman. And what happened after that, we know. The Agni became calm. Hanumanji's tail did not burn at all. Kyun? Because there was Shakti in Sita Ma's words, because she was one in thought, word and deed, and her words were always kind. They were not harmful. They were truthful. They were pleasant, and they were beneficial all the time. They were well thought of and not uttered when they were not needed. When you have that control on your Vadi, Saraswati comes and sits on the Vadi. But if we don't control this powerful organ, powerful tongue, powerful words, what happens is, we know, right? We see most of the battles are because of this tongue. And what Seth so beautifully said, yes, yesterday somebody had shared this. Everything that comes out of our body stinks, isn't it? Everything that comes out of our body, be it our stools, be it urine, be it all the sweat, everything that comes out of our body stinks. Whatever comes out of our nose, whatever comes out of our eyes, it stinks. And we have no control. But there is one thing that comes out of our body on which we have full control, and we can ensure that it does not stink. We can ensure that it is pleasant. We can ensure that it is loving. We can ensure that it is not harmful. We can ensure that it is kind. It is not smelly. What are those? Those are words. Rest, we can't control. Our perspiration, our, whatever comes, urination or stool, we can't control the smell. But this, we can. Why not control it? But we don't. It requires a lot of effort. Nobody is saying ki niyam without effort ho jayega. But till it becomes effortless, keep doing it. And when it becomes effortless, the result will be different. So truthfulness. So when Sita Ma said, Agni, you will become cold, the Agni became cold because she had that much control on her body. And we have to be very, very, very cautious. When we say truthful, it should not be blunt. Many people actually harp on this quality. I am very blunt, jo hota hai muh pe bol deti hu. Nahi, please don't do that also. That is not being truthful, because it is harming somebody. It is hurting somebody. It is taking away somebody else's peace. Weigh your mouth. Weigh your words. Everything can be said in a very pleasant manner. conveying the same message, and the message will be more powerful when it does not hurt the heart, it uplifts the other person. And this is something we have to learn. All of us make this mistake of using our words like scissors and knives. And most of the time, we do it with our near and dear ones. Cut, 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 cut. Because we take them for granted. But when we are talking to people who we do not have so much control over, the outsiders, oh my God, how sugar-coated our words are. When we are talking to somebody superior to us, how sugar-coated our words are. But when we are talking to a person inferior to us, cut, 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 cut. So judge a person when the person is talking to you. If you want to really find out about a person, see how he talks to the people who are lower to him. See how the person talks to his own children. See how a person talks to his own spouse. See how a person talks to his own in-laws or parents, aged parents. That is the true quality of the person. God forbid, if you ever become dependent on that person, the sweetness will disappear. This is what you will get. Everybody can be nice and pleasant over a coffee. But don't think that is the true nature. Vivek, use your discrimination. By now we understand what Vivek is. Use your discrimination. And use your discrimination on yourself also. So when you're talking, think. When you open your mouth, weigh your words first. And then say it. And if not needed, keep quiet. So again, so that means we cannot lie no matter what. Of course you cannot lie no matter what. A lie is a lie is a lie. When Yudhishthir said, Ki, this, what is it? Elephant has died. I do not know whether it is a nar or a kunjaro. Ashwathama hato, naro ya kunjaro, I don't know. What happened? That very minute, Dronacharya put down his shastra. Astras and shastras. And he was destroyed. But what happened to Yudhishthir? His chariot, Dharmiraj Yudhishthir's chariot used to be above the ground. It came down with a thud. It came down with the ground. Although it was only a half lie, but it was a lie. It caused harm. It was detrimental to somebody. There is nothing called a safed jhoot and a kala jhoot and it was for somebody's benefit. Nahi. A lie is a lie is a lie is a lie. Because we do not have the vivek to refine that lie further. In our shastra, okay. So how do we present the truth then? There was a story that a lady laden with a lot of jewelries and dressed up beautifully came running. She was frantic. She came running. She was petrified. She came to this Sadhu Mahatma and she said, please hide me. There is this man who wants to kill me. He wants to take away all my jewelry. I cannot protect myself. Please, please, please hide me. And saying this, she ran away into his hut. And surely enough, after a while, this person who was wanting to rob her of the jewelry and kill her came and he said, have you seen this lady who had a lot of jewelry and she was running in this direction? Have you seen her? Now the Sadhu Mahatma became very quiet because you can't lie, right? A lie is a lie is a lie. So what should he have done? Handed over this girl to him? No. He used his vivek, discrimination. Vivek is he used his buddhi. And he said, the eyes that saw cannot speak. And the tongue which can speak did not see. The eyes that saw cannot speak. And the tongue which can speak cannot see. This is called presence of mind. But presence of mind ऐसे नहीं कि किसी ने बोला धम. The art of listening, the art, the patience, it comes with practice. And today, we will do only truthfulness. Think about these points. Am I true in Mansa Vacha Karmana? Right? Do I ever lie? Do I ever lie? See, being one in truth, word, thought, word, and deed is a far-fetched thing. Do we even lie? Many a times we make it a habit for about lying about small things. क्यों झूठ बोलना है? सच बोलिए ना. It is a very dangerous thing because you won't even remember what you had said. The other person will catch you. The other person is observing. So if you have lied, that person knows. It could be in good faith that the person is not coming back and telling you. So be very careful. Think about truthfulness. Truthfulness is speech, action, thoughts, and to always be on the path of truth. Satya bolo, meetha bolo, katu satya mat bolo. So if we are not saying any katu satya, be quiet, right? Think about a way like the Sadhu Mahatma. Being blunt is not a very good quality. And remember, a person who is not truthful can never be spiritual, can never awaken the self. Write it down and underline it. This is a must. And suppose you say that, what if it harms somebody? Yes, that kind of a lie is allowed, but you have to weigh the pros and consequences, which we don't have the ability to do. Please don't try also. That's why I don't even want to say it, but theek hai. Which is not harmful, which will not have any selfish benefit. कुछ भी नहीं होगा, किसी का भी उससे बुरा नहीं होना चाहिए. It is a very, very, very different kind of a lie that it becomes a truth. We do not have the ability to analyze and scrutinize to that extent. So let's stick to it. A lie is a lie is a lie, and the truth is a truth is a truth. And always remember, no matter how strong or big a lie is and how small or tiny the truth is, truth will eventually always win. The problem with us is that we are small liars and other people are big liars. So of course a big lie will definitely win from a small lie. But a big or small lie, no matter how great a lie is, no matter how piddly a truth might be, a big lie can never win from the truth. Truth will always be victorious. Why don't we try an exercise? We can decide and tell ourselves. We had done an exercise of ahimsa also, right? Not banging the door. Now, when you were doing that exercise of ahimsa, did you realize how many doors do we come across? As the Swamiji was saying, it is not only the door that we open. The doors of our kitchen, when we are opening a pouch, that is also a door, isn't it? The doors of a box, everything is a door, isn't it? It's like an opening. So, even opening a book is opening a door. So, being so vigilant that whenever you open a door, you will be non-violent. You won't slam the door. You won't be slam the book close. That kind of awareness has to be there. So, we have to take up this activity and see how difficult it is to be truthful. And only when we take up this activity, we will actually imbibe it. Maybe, as for the first week, we can decide to be non-harmful. Our words will not be harmful at all. We'll be very vigilant that our words will not be harmful. Second week, we can take up the activity where our words would be truthful. Only truthfulness. Nothing negative would be uttered from our mouth. Third, our words would be beneficial. And only beneficial. And fourth, our words will be pleasant. The fourth week, our words will be pleasant. And if you are courageous enough, in the fifth week, imbibe all the three and say, I would not say anything unless and until it is harmless, it is truthful, it is pleasant, and it is beneficial. I would rather be inborn. When these four qualities have to be implemented, the only way is to be inborn. And this is something I realized 2-3 years back. When we are doing Navratra fasting and we are fasting totally on water for those days, 10, 11 days of Navratri, which is a very auspicious time. And fasting is not only fasting of food. That is the mistake many people make on Ekadashi. They'll fast, abstain from food. But the thought, the mind, the company, we will be eating into all things negative and not sattvic at all. So when you're fasting Navratri, I thought, my God, if the words have to be non-harmful, they have to be truthful, they have to be pleasant, and they have to be beneficial, it is very difficult to utter something. So might as well remain bound. And that is when I decided for Navratri, I will talk to only my children, because that also when it is needed. But to others, I will be bound. Because at that time, it is difficult to speak. The minute you speak, fast is broken in a way. Born. And it will happen to all of us. The minute we start with even one of these, our words will be reduced. This is another value which we need to imbibe in us. Truthfulness. Satya. So we have done ahimsa, we have done satya, and we have done aparigraha. Right? Next week, we will go on with asteya and brahmacharya. Hari Om. Hari Om. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Ram Lakshman Janaki, Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Ram Lakshman Janaki, Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Ram Lakshman Janaki, Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. जय बोलो हनुमान की. बोलो बजरंग बली की जय. जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान.